Hello and welcome to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the classes you should be playing as when it comes to the hard weekly stratagem. Now this hard weekly stratagem is pretty easy in my opinion, one of the easiest ones we've had so far. I'm going to be going over the classes you should be playing as if you're playing by yourself or if you're playing as, with your friends or whatever, right? Now in my opinion, if you're playing by yourself, you should go for the multi-melter, and this goes for if you're playing with people as well, your friends or whatever. Multi-melter, perfect. Plasma pistol, perfect. The heavy really and truly does this hard stratagem really well. Just having that 10 meters, 75% bonus damage when you're within 10 meters of an enemy is super like helpful. Pretty much all you want to do, just go in and just shoot your multi-melter. That is it. I don't know if you guys know how to do it, but you can pretty much shoot twice quickly as well. I don't know if you guys know or whatever, but if you know the little technique, then it will help you out a lot. I'm not gonna really demonstrate, but if you want to do it, you pretty much aim in, shoot, aim out, shoot. That easy, that simple. Aim in, shoot, aim out, shoot very quickly. Now there might be like, when you do that first one, there might be like a little like pause. You have to wait like a second or two, then you can just keep doing it again and again and again. If you're in, within like the 10 meters, I'm pretty sure it's like 2 shots to an enemy, so very helpful. And the reason why I say heavy is the best is because if you're playing as like tactical, when you want to go use a bolt weapon, which I would not use, chaos spawns do not have a headshot multiplier, which is why we go for multi-melter. Super handy, and you always want to be in front of the enemy, right? So we go for the multi-melter, we go for the magazine capacity. Here are the perks. I'm not really going to go over it. To summarize it, we just want ammo and we want to deal as much damage as possible, so we go for these perks right here. Pause the video, whatever. I'm not going to go over it. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible for you guys. And then in terms of the plasma pistol, we choose the rate of fire version because that is the best plasma variant. And then here you guys go. We pretty much want extra ammo and extra damage. So there you go again. Pause the video, whatever. And then in terms of the perk tree, now when it comes to the perk tree, if you want restoration, killing 7 enemies in a rapid succession restores 1 armor segment. If you struggle with keeping your armor segments and not taking, if you do take a lot of damage, then go for restoration. If you want extra ammo, go for multi-kill, and then just choose these perks right here. They come in handy. Heavy, in my opinion, is the best for this stratagem right here, just as he was the best for the Inferno hard stratagem as well. Pause the video, whatever. There you go. Now that's heavy. Now another class you should be playing as with this weekly stratagem is Bulwark. Bulwark has always been good. You want to choose the plasma pistol rate of fire variant. Now the plasma pistol is the same as the heavy, so I'm not going to go over it. But when it comes to the power fist, we go for the block, because power fist, when it comes to chaos or tyranids, it just does a very good job of taking out the enemies. You can literally like 2-shot extremist enemies with like full charge. You can 1-shot majority enemies with a full charge. And here are the perks right here. Just pause the video, whatever. Not going to go over it. And in terms of the perk tree right here, this is what you want to have. Now if you don't, if you don't struggle with losing health or whatever, then you can also go for glory shield. But in terms of like your team and whatnot, you can go for invigorating icon. Invigorating icon is a very good perk. And let's just say if you do not want defensive advantage and you want something else, you can also go for armor reinforcement. However, if you are going to go for the power fist, do not use armor reinforcement. You could also go for the power sword as well if you really wish. Now I go for the fencing variant, right? You could also use the Xenophase blade if you want. I'd probably recommend the Xenophase blade. Yeah, again, pause the video, whatever. If you do want to use armor reinforcement, then I would recommend the power sword, as it is very nice just to keep getting armor. Right, armor is what keeps people, players alive. So yeah. And then for the last one, it's pretty obvious. You want to go for tactical, because he can just delete enemies with his all specs, especially when it comes to terminus enemies. Just that hell brute. If you and your teammates just shoot out that hell brute, watch the health just disappear with the right perks, right? Now in terms of which weapon should you be using, now you could use the Pyroblaster here. You should choose the venting speed one. Pyroblaster is very good. Again, to summarize, we want to deal as much damage as possible, and we also go for ammo as well, and an extra armor segment. So not take a screenshot, pause the video, whatever. Again, Now you can go for the Pyro-Blaster. Pyro-Blaster is very, very good. Not only for just dealing damage to enemies, but dealing damage to terminus enemies as well. And you could also go for the Melter Rifle. Again, you can pause the video. Melter Rifle is also decent when it comes to chaos. And then last but not least, also go for the Plasma Incinerator. Again, I just feel like bolt weapons are absolutely trash when it comes to chaos. So that's why I recommend these three. Again, pause the video. You know, now in terms of which one I would recommend, I'd probably recommend the Pyro-Blaster. Pyro-Blaster is such an amazing weapon. S tier weapon is so good to have. So yeah, I'd go for this one. You know, very handy to clear out swarms and whatever, dealing damage to enemies and terminus enemies. So yeah, now in terms of secondary, Plasma Pistol, rate of fire, no discussion about that. It's the same thing as last one, as heavy. So again, and then when it comes to which melee, I'd probably just recommend block chainsword. You know, I feel like tactical, it really does need block, because you know, when it comes to every other class, he doesn't gain armor segments, you know, that frequently. But if you do have a bulwark, you know, I feel like fencing is also very good to have. But I just go for block here because in my opinion, I think block is the best variant when it comes to melee weapons. And now the perk tree. Okay, now the perk tree, in terms of which one I would pick, I made a video, so right, I'm gonna revert these back. But in terms of which one I would go for, if you are gonna go for the Plasma Incinerator, go for Plasma Boost, right, instead of Balanced Distribution. And then you want to go for Heightened Vigor here, and then you want to go for Emperor's Vengeance, and then Secure Stockpile. No discussion about that, you have to pick that one. And then in terms of, you know, just dealing a shit ton of damage to whatever enemy is in our way, you know, like Hell Roots, whatever, Vital Data, so you can just get that 50% off if you do scan an extremist or terminus level enemy. And then you want to go for Precise Calibration. Enemies marked by All-Spec Scan take an additional 75% damage, but All-Spec Scan's radius is reduced by 25%. That's a good trade-off in my opinion. And last but not least, Concentrated Fire. All-Spec Scan zone lasts 60% longer, and enemies marked by All-Spec Scan take an additional 120% damage, but they lose the mark when they leave the scanned area. So you have to be very precise with the All-Specs. You kind of have to do it like when he's maybe you know, when the Hell Root does like the little, like, you know, like ground attack and it's like purple around you, maybe that's when you should do it, and your team is like are in a good spot to hit them. You can go for that, and just the health will just absolutely disappear. And then you want to go for Radiating Impact. That's a no-brainer as well. And that's it. Heavy, Bulwark, Tactical, in my opinion, is ideal. Now you can't really choose Assault or Vanguard because they have like minus, you know, like the minus, what's it called, man? I mean, let me just go to the launch bay. You know, they have the minus thing. All in Vanguard and Aggravated Assault, you have 50% less health, and you deal 50% less damage to enemies, and you can't parry or block attacks. So there's literally, you can't even play them. So, you know, like, would I pick Sniper? I mean, I feel like Heavy, Bulwark, Tactical, they are the best ones to go. Not even with this stratagem, but in general for siege mode or whatever, these three are the best ones to go for. Sniper is also, you know, good, I guess, with less usable, but you know, Heavy, Bulwark, Tactical, in my opinion, is the way I would go. Hope this video got, you know, if this video helped you guys out, and have a great rest of your day. And I'm out. Peace.